And we are back.
We are back, little bees. That's what I'm going to call them from now on.
That's going to be a thing for you, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Ruminations and Revelations, episode 3.
This is episode 3.
Okay. We haven't recorded. It feels like it's been weeks because we've been doing a lot of live streams and we've been so far ahead that it doesn't feel like we've done this. It's a lot going on.
Definitely feel like it's been a while.
Yep. I got to be honest, I kind of want to go over some of the housekeeping that we went over in the live, but I don't really see a point in it. So
why?
Because we already covered it for the people who listen to us regularly, and it's on YouTube.
Well, there are people who listen to us who can't make it to the lives and stuff.
Well, I mean, most of it was live updates in terms of when we're moving stuff. Monday premieres on YouTube are getting moved from 11 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll be doing that in the morning. And then we're dropping the Thursday book reading, which is a live stream, and only doing Wednesday. We're moving the Patreon live from Friday night to Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. And we're still doing expedited emails Sunday nights at 7. Whiskey Room is supposed to be being built this weekend, so I don't know how that's going to look. Although I talked to Adam from A&R today, and he said because of the rain that we've been getting, the paint's not drying on the wood that he put down. So it may not happen until Monday now. We could have went and did things this weekend, and I'm trying to build my life around him, and
that sucks.
Yep. Tis what it is. That's life. That's
I'm excited
construction.
I'm excited to see your collection in there.
Yeah, me too. I found Blood Oath Packed 8 and 9. That's exciting. I want to order chairs for there, but I don't want to order them and have them get here before that's done.
Then they're just in the way.
And we've already got a toolbox sitting in the
foyer.
The foyer or vestibule, whatever you want to call it, in the front of the house. Because there's nowhere else to put shit. And our house is in total disarray because one of the main rooms of our house is not in use in the moment. So lots and lots and lots of stuff. All the stuff.
My mind is so chaotic because the house is so chaotic.
It sucks. Yep.
I can't wait to do that deep clean of the house.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that'll happen after we get done with the build out. We need to find a way to we're probably gonna have to rent a U-Haul van to take everything to a no-kill shelter because we don't have a way to really move a lot of the bigger stuff.
No.
Really need a pickup truck. I just don't want to spend the money on it. I want to buy electric bicycles too.
Oh, that would be so dope. Our outings would broaden.
Yep.
Oh, we could do so much more. We could go to beaches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you can ride them on the beach.
Right.
Yeah, Dakota introduced me to he turned me on to a guy on Instagram that does video work.
Was that me or you?
I think it was both of us.
Oh, I have my ringtone turned on just in case.
Yeah, this is that was another thing. I'll get into what that was in a second, but he turned me on to this dude who does B-roll type video shit, the stuff that I enjoy doing, and the kid is phenomenal. He's only got 7,000 followers on Instagram, and I followed him on our podcast account, and because that's the only one I use. I really don't. I won't log into the other accounts unless I get a notification that somebody messaged me on one of them. Otherwise, I don't use my other accounts.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I follow pages on the podcast account too because that's the only one I scroll.
Right. So he posted a picture of one of those Super 73 bikes that I want real bad. And
that's the one you sent me, right?
Yeah, dude, they look so gangster. All mud tires, and it's a 40-mile battery. And he said that he bought his used super cheap. He got it for $1,000. And I was like, dude, I got to know, was it worth the cost of the money? He's 100 times over because I got it for $1,000. I'm like, okay, well, fuck you, right? Because the one I want's $4,000, and I just can't justify spending that much money on a bicycle. But he was going on and on about how dope it was. And then he told me that he uses it to get back and forth from the studio because he has a band and a podcast. And I'm like, oh, really? You have a podcast? I have a podcast. Which podcast about?
Yeah.
And I checked him out a little bit. It's mainly based around his music. It's his bandmates that have a podcast, and it's just something that they do. They only have 2 episodes, so it's not a big thing. But
gotcha. So they're
obviously paying for the studio space though, and I don't know if that's where he does his office and editing and has a podcast room or what his deal is there. But I am really looking hard for people to interview. After the interview we did with the therapist, I've had 3 emails that I've seen that have come through. The wizards behind the curtain do that. I don't know if we've gotten more than that or not. But that's what those emails were, that both of our shit went off at the same time. That was somebody that reached out that has a podcast from Europe that has 30,000 followers. It was we have a comedy podcast. I've been watching you guys since the beginning. love your content. We should collaborate. I gotta be honest. I don't really care so much about somebody's follower base. It's their content.
Right. Like if your content has like substance.
Yeah. Yeah. If
Yeah.
there's any type of quality to what you're doing, I'm about it. If it's, beer drinking and fart jokes,
Yeah.
that's not what we do. Do you know who the Bobby the Alchemist is on TikTok? He's the I'll see myself out now guy. Like
Yeah,
he'll
you
say-
showed me
Yeah,
him.
I saw something where he went on and on and on about it was about the Epstein list and about all the pedophiles and positions of power, and like it was like a good 3 minutes of him just fucking running it. And he's like, and I'll see myself out now. And he got out. It was the first video I ever saw by him. Instantly followed him, and I've been every time I get on TikTok, if I see his shit, he's one of like maybe 4 people that I will watch beginning to end.
Yeah.
He reached out to us when we hit 1 million. He was like, "Hey man, congratulations, you guys deserve it." And I was like, "Dude, wow, thank you." He's got like 250,000 people following him, but the fact that he took the time out of his day to message us,
Yeah. That shows he's paying attention. That's pretty dope.
right? Well, I was like, "Wow, man, thanks. I love your content." I wasn't trying to like hem him up in conversation,
Right.
and then he liked it. And then this morning, I woke up from a message from him that said, you and your significant other really deserve everything that's coming to you, everything that you're getting. Like, congratulations, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Hey man, you ever have any interest of possibly being on the podcast? Because I would love to talk to him. He's a recovered
Right.
addict. He's got a dope fucking relationship, and like he's pulled his life together, and he's doing like live streams, and he's very crunchy granola like type person, and that's cool. Like if that's your thing, I don't judge for that.
I'm
but
sorry, crunchy granola.
yeah,
Is that really a thing?
that's what I've always called it.
Like the meditative, like yogi-y people?
Yeah,
No
crunchy
way.
granola. It's just a thing I've always called them. I don't know. Is that not a thing?
No, but it makes sense to me. Like, yeah, I get it.
But he's a really cool guy, and I love his content. So even if, it looks like we landed them as a sponsor.
Shut up.
Anyways, I would like to get him on because I would like to have conversations with him. And I got to be honest. Also, I'm thinking that as we start landing these sponsors for the podcast part of it, I might wait until the ad is done. See how they perform, and then reach out to the company personally to find out if we can get them to sponsor the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Because I would rather, like that unboxing that we did for Patreon, people love that shit.
Really?
Yeah. There was a lot of people, like Jordan was like, "I drink that every day." He's like, "That's a great product, blah, blah, blah." And
Hell
then there was
yeah.
people like, you guys, this is entertaining because it's honest. They know if we open something that tastes like shit, we're like, "Oh, what the fuck?" You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to fake that.
Right.
And I'm not going to support something I don't like. If somebody sends us product and it's gross or it's cheap, I'm going to be like, "They were paying us for this. This is garbage." You know what I mean? Like it puts us at a high risk, but at least we know that people that don't stand behind their shit's not going to send us product.
I have to say this before I forget about it. How would you feel about recording me cooking the meals that were sent to us? That way we can use it in case we land them for the sponsorship.
I would rather do that afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to pre-record that shit.
Okay.
I did it with the athletic greens because it was like a landmark for us. It was the first time somebody had sent us something to test. And I wanted that more for me than social media, but it's something we can look back on 5 years now and be like, "Hey, you remember when we did that shit?" Like,
Yeah.
look, I think I want to go to Vegas in September.
Okay.
I really started looking. I have, it's really weird. I don't want to like name brand products anymore. Like I feel like when I say like I have this and I use this, I feel like I'm giving free publicity to people that won't even return my emails. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, anyways, I have a card that gives me points. And in the past, I've said the name of the card. I'm not going to say it this time. But one of the hotels that is my favorite hotel in Vegas will accept that card for points. So I can get expedited points and benefits for using the card or having the card. I don't know. I really want to do like a week out there. I'd like to fly out on a Tuesday and come back on a Tuesday so that we have a couple of days while the casinos are slower to like explore casinos, ghost towns, deserts, all that shit, and then come back. So, but we have to get your passport so that we can get your TSA done. Actually, I think you might be able to do your TSA pre-check with your ID and your birth certificate.
Really?
I think so.
Well,
we need to look into that.
I have the paperwork and everything on the desk. I was going to wait until everything settled down with the schedule and then book an appointment to get that done.
Yeah. The TSA pre-check is the biggest one. We can literally go to Staples or Staples in Sarasota and just wait, and they can do the TSA pre-check there. But I don't want to pay for everything until we get the TSA pre-check. So we might need to look into doing that before the end of the month. Maybe that's something we do next week. or just look into it when we're done. We're going to look at aprons today. We're trying to move more into the merchandise thing.
I'm excited about that.
Me too. I want to get to the point where we can start actually designing our clothing instead of just putting our shit on it.
Yeah. With the aprons, I like the ones that we're going to go look at. Like, I like the style of them. I think it's very modern and like simplistic. I really want to get into like 50s and 60s style aprons with like the ruffles and like cute shit and a bunch of pockets and patterns and stripes.
Yeah, we need to find a seamstress, like a legit seamstress that works, like that can do quantities of shit, not just, I can make one at a time. We need a factory, but in order to have that, we actually have to have enough volume to justify doing it. We're not even close to that. So, yeah.
It's a dream. It's a goal.
Have a lot of goals and a lot of aspirations to do things.
I've really been thinking about making my own first prototype apron.
Yeah. Doing it yourself.
Yeah. Like hand sewing one and then making a TikTok out of it and posting the TikTok without saying that I made the apron and just seeing
how it goes.
See what people say about it.
We could probably find somebody locally to do that. I know that there's a couple seamstress places in town. They would just go in there with the specs and be like, this is what I want. How much would it cost to make it? Be way easier to pay somebody to do the work than for us to take time out of our life to do that.
Yeah. I figured it was something I could do while we're sitting on the couch watching TV.
You gonna hand sew all that shit?
Yeah, I could.
No, screw that. No, ma'am.
No?
No way. You know how long that would take? How far have you gotten on your sweater?
Not far because I've been doing everything else in life, but now we have time coming up.
That's my point. We don't though.
Right.
We don't have time.
What do you mean?
Because I want to live my life again, babe. This has been exciting.
Right.
It's been amazing doing, and it's been 55 to 70 hours a week. And now that we're going to have days off because we've revised our recording schedules, when we get to that schedule, we are doing shit. I don't know what, but we are not going to spend a lot of time in the house Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays if I can make us something for us to do.
Okay.
I don't care if it's going to the mall. I will be a 16-year-old and walk around the fucking mall if that's what it takes to get me out of the house.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah. So
I'm really excited about that.
yeah, we could go to the other coast. Yeah, we can do small little excursions.
Yeah.
3 days. It takes us 2 hours to drive to the other coast. It's not a big deal to drive across the state. We go to Fort Lauderdale, go to Cocoa Beach. We could do fucking Jupiter again and again and again because I love the sunrises out there. The Blowing Rocks Preserve.
I love watching the sunrises and sunsets. I don't like taking pictures of them.
Yeah.
It's too much for me to look at. I think I really am just going to stick with
macro.
Really? Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can go take pictures of like little crabs walking and shit while I take pictures of the sunrise. That just means we don't have to buy any more filters.
I was thinking about I was trying to get like the little bird guys out there.
Yeah.
But they're so quick on their little twig legs.
Take the big boy. Take the 200 to 600 millimeter.
Okay.
Put it on a tripod and you can get right up on them.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's not a fast lens, but it with enough light, it will be.
That glasses photo I took was like the first really like single object.
Yeah, and you fucking nailed that photo. I ordered that last night.
I was so anxious about that. I saved it. I really wasn't even thinking about keeping it.
I'm so glad you didn't delete that photo.
Yeah.
I printed it big. It's a 40 by 60. I actually think it's bigger than both of these.
Wow.
I'm almost positive it's the same size as the spider web.
No way.
Yeah, I want it in the whiskey room. Tell me that doesn't feel like
that makes me feel
it belongs
really good.
like a picture of Thomas Edison's study. Like it's gonna fit that whiskey room between the whiskey and the toolboxes and like the man
feel,
the masculinity that will be in that room. I think it'll fit really well in there.
I love that.
Yeah.
I already told you. It made me feel almost like honored.
Yeah.
Like you have all of your photos. You're pretty much a professional photographer. You got paid to do this shit and you're good at it.
No, I mean, I'm okay.
Every photo you've taken and you're like, I'm going to use her picture to put in your whiskey room.
Yeah.
That made me feel really good,
What does this say about our eyes? Because we were both in that room.
We were.
And you took the pictures and I walked past it.
Yeah.
I could have taken that shot. I was in the room with you. I had my camera on me. And I was like, meh. And I walked away. You took the picture and I didn't even see the shot in my brain. I wasn't looking for that. We were in a building. I wasn't thinking about taking pictures of shit. And like hindsight 2020, those rooms are set up as displays. I should have fucking known better. And I just wasn't there. I've already been in there before. It wasn't new to me.
Right.
I think that I do my best work when I'm in places I've never been before. because I'm looking for like all these new angles and like my brain's firing on all cylinders.
Just new things to look at.
Yeah. Let's get into the email so that we're not doing this super long today because we have other shit we have to do. And Jordan closes at 5:30.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one is called Moving Forward, Relationships of Friends.
Okay. This is one of the few times that we'll read an email for Ruminations because there's a topic in here that I want to discuss.
Mm-hmm. Love the podcast. You guys are so insightful and have given such a clearer light on relationship advice and discussions.
Sounds
so
like there's no punctuation in that. It's just one run-on sentence.
Yes. I'm trying my best.
Breathe. Just take a breath when you feel like you should.
Okay. Love the podcast. You guys are so insightful and have given such a clearer light on relationship advice and have fantastic discussions.
That was way better.
I added things.
Okay. Like a breath?
Words, breaths, punctuation, yes. So amazing.
I fucking hate these chairs.
I can tell. I hear all the squeaking and the moving.
Well, I pulled the pillow that was behind me out because
Yeah.
it was pushing me too far forward and it was pulling on my shirt, which made it even worse.
Like constriction.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I'm not sure if this trails along what you guys usually discuss, but I'm trying to personally come to closure with my ex and go our separate ways, but I still have resentment.
Bitterness, animosity, angst, frustration, hostility, anger.
Just so much negativity.
There's a whole lot of words there that fit. That's
Yeah.
not resentment. I wish I would have never learned that resentment was an envy emotion because every time I hear that, I have to correct it in my head. And that time I had to come verbal.
So all of those words do fit.
Mm-hmm.
I would go on a limb to say that resentment is the proper word here, though.
Oh, you're right, because we read this. Yeah, you're right. I guess that does actually work. I take back everything I just said.
I got you.
Mr. Know-It-All doesn't know shit.
I would say in general, though, that is good information to have.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that resentment is an envy emotion.
Yeah, it stems from envy.
Learn the words when you use them. Just a little on the fact of when we broke up, she became best friends with my best friend of a decade or longer and hid it and lied about it. And my best friend stopped being friends with me all at the same time.
Hid with a D or hit with a T?
Hid.
With a D.
D like Denny.
Okay. Details matter.
Yes.
Because if they became best friends and he hid it, it's a very different conversation than he hid it.
Yes. Hid.
Although I'm willing to bet he hid it too. Because why would you
Yeah.
hide it otherwise?
Oh, that would have been the perfect opportunity for me to say D as in daddy.
Oh,
Damn it.
stop it. Don't look at me like that.
Like what? All right. My question is this something to be upset about?
No. The hiding it part is something to be upset about.
I would feel betrayed.
Why?
That's my best friend.
Okay. Is it though? And where's the betrayal coming from?
So I would say, oh man, so many possibilities. It depends on
That's
how.
why I wanted to read this email.
It depends on how the relationship ended. If we ended on good terms, we were like, look, we try to make it work. We're just not meshing. I don't hate you. You don't hate me. It didn't happen. And we ended respectfully. And then that person hit it for me. I'd be like, come on.
Right.
You
So
know,
the hiding is what got you.
Yes. From her and from the best friend. Like, you're supposed to be my homie. Why? We tell each other everything, bro. I'm vulnerable with you. Why don't you? Why didn't you tell me? At least I think that's how it is with guy friends.
So there's a lot to this.
Yeah.
They were together for 4 years, right? Was that what it said?
No.
Are you sure? Was that a different email?
I think that is a different email because there's no timeline.
Okay.
It says that his best friend of over a decade or longer hit it.
I don't know where the 4-year thing came from. Anyways,
I don't know either.
so in this scenario, they've been together for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
The best friend and the girlfriend have become friends because he's around them all the time. They probably go to dinner. They've probably done. There's another collab.
Oh, no way.
Yep.
They've probably done group activities, hangout sessions.
They do things together, and like you create a bond when you are with somebody for a long duration of time. Your friends commingle with your partner, like you become friends with them.
Yeah.
And there's going to be things that people have in common that you may not have in common with the other person, and there are emotional needs and relationships psychological need in relationships that are being met from having multiple friends in your friend circle. That's normal behavior. That's why all of your friends are not the same in terms of their personality types. So if you're with someone for 4 or 5 years and you break up with them or they break up with you and the people that you are friends with, we remain friends with them, that's not something that you get to be salty over. They have created their own relationships with these people. Expecting them to be loyal to you because you are no longer with this person means that they didn't have the opportunity to really have a friendship with this person. Which is why I say all the time, like, you need to keep those people at length because you don't want to be that. You don't want to be this. You don't want to be in this scenario. Logically, 5 years, 10 years of a relationship, your entire social circle is commingled unless you just don't like the other person's friends.
Right.
And that does happen. So that jealousy is a problem. So that's problem number one on this person's part. I'm willing to bet that there was something else going on there. Otherwise, they wouldn't have hit it. Because why would you be ashamed of somebody that you're friends with? The only scenario that I can think of where you would want to hide that is where it's not an actually hidden scenario. People are not entitled to know everything about your life. So maybe it wasn't hidden. Maybe she was like, look, I would still like to be friends with you. And like, I just don't want him to know anything about my life. And dude was like, you're right. And just decided to keep that shit to himself. Because if I had 2 friends that got separated or were in a relationship and one of them was doing something, it's not my fucking place to say shit to anyone.
Right.
It's not. And people are like, well, wouldn't you tell your best friend if they were being cheated on? No, I fucking wouldn't, because it's not my place. Why am I going to get dragged into their bullshit when they have whatever they have going on? I'm not doing that. That's snitch mentality. Like, I'm not going to do that. If I really have a problem with what's going on in that relationship, I'm going to distance myself. And when they're like, hey man, how come you don't come around no more? And be like, yeah, I just, things weren't meshing for me. And that's going to be the end of it. And then when they break up, maybe that conversation will be had, but maybe not. And in the same breath, if those 2 ended up hooking up and I was a third friend in this scenario, and I knew after the fact that that best friend and that ex-girlfriend were fucking or were in a relationship, I still wouldn't tell that dude. It's not my fucking business. So if she asked him not to say anything and he says something, he's betraying the trust of one friend. Him not saying something makes dude feel like he's betraying the trust of him, when in reality, he's remaining neutral to the situation.
Right.
And that's something to think about. I don't do that shit. If people gossip to you, they'll gossip about you.
Right. So you wouldn't say something when it's a close friend of yours, right? What if it was... you were friends with the dude and the girl he was with, like, you told him right off the bat, like, bro, she ain't it.
Yeah.
You have no relationship with her, and then you find out a year and a half down the road she's cheating on him. Would you say something?
Okay, see, now this is a different scenario because I don't like her. Like,
right.
Because that matters. If I'm friends with her and friends with him and one of them are doing something wrong, it puts me in a bad spot. If the entire time I've been like, fuck her, that's a different scenario because I already don't like this person. However, in doing that, in me saying something, knowing that I don't like her, there's a strong possibility that he's going to say that I'm just trying to stir shit. And it's going to put me in a position where I might become an outsider to him as a friend because he thinks that I'm trying to destroy his happy home. So that's something that has to be weighed. There's still a part of that makes me go, if I say, yo, your girl is cheating on you, I have proof, I'm a snitch. I have no business being in that relationship and doing that. I'm not the one she's fucking. So like, I don't know. I don't know. That's a very hard place to be with the scenario that you laid out. Knowing that I don't like her, finding out she did something dirty, knowing that's my best friend, like at that point, I don't know. That might make me change my stance a little bit. But even then, it would have to be very delicate and very, I don't know, man. So I got to be honest. I'd probably hit him with like, man, you might want to check her phone, bro. Like something's not right. Like I just got a feeling something's not right. I don't think that I would, I caught her cheating. Like I saw her sucking dick in a Taco Bell. Like I'm not doing that. I don't know. I don't know. It makes me uncomfortable.
Okay.
I don't want to be in that. I don't want to be in that position.
Right. Yeah.
I really don't. That's a really shitty place to be.
It is. When I was in high school, I was put in the position. I was with a dude who was in a group chat with all of his dude friends, and I knew all of the dude friends. I knew all of their girlfriends. I was not close to any of the dudes. And I was acquaintances with one of the dude's girlfriends. And the dude I was dating at the time showed me that one of his friends sent a very inappropriate photo of the girl that he had just broken up with into the group chat and
That's
be like,
fucked up.
hey, bro, like, look what I just hit. And they were all laughing about it. And I'm like, are you fucking, like, you guys really just did that?
Yeah. Says a lot about somebody's character.
Well, I sat there and I thought about it. I was like, fuck, dude. Like, if I don't say anything, I'm part of the problem. Well, I messaged her and I was like, hey, like, just so you know, your ex, or I don't know if you guys are dating or anything, like, he's sending inappropriate photos of you into the group chat with all the boys. And she was like, oh my God, thank you so much for telling me. Like, I can't believe he did that. And then 3 days later, dude I was dating showed me the group chat of a screenshot of the two texting. And she was like, at least it was a good photo of me. Thank you for that. I was like, okay, so I guess. And then she shit on me for reaching out.
To give you some fin. Noggin. Dude.
Like,
See, I think in that scenario, the answer is to tell the person that you found out was part of that, that you're in the wrong for being a part of this.
Yeah.
Like, as a man, you should be like, hey, this isn't okay behavior.
oh, I did. I ripped him apart.
And that's as far as I would have went with that. Here's a thought, back to your original thing, because I am really hung up on because that's a predicament, right? Like, that's something that I would really have to weigh.
Right.
That wouldn't be a scenario where I would be like, yeah, let's just go tell him, right? I would really have to weigh that out because it goes against my own personal convictions. It dawned on me a minute ago that you said if it was my friend. And that's very different in terms of like acquaintances, people that I know and people that I love. If it's somebody that I love, I'm going to have their back no matter what, right or wrong, because I love them. And that's the way that goes. So in a scenario where if it was Sean or Jeff, I'm fucking snitching. I'm telling everybody, like, I'm gonna pull you aside and we're going to have that conversation. And right or wrong, you can hate me afterwards, but I love you and it's the right thing to do. If it was somebody like, you guys don't know any of these people, so it doesn't really matter. But if that was the case, I wouldn't say shit. I don't give a fuck about that. It's not my problem. That's theirs. And that I think that's where that lies, because though I am friends with them, if they called me at 3:00 in the morning, I'm not getting out of bed.
right.
Sean called me at 3:00 in the morning. I don't care if I'm in Georgia, I'm coming home and helping. Like, so it's a very different scenario. There are people that I will ride or die with because I've known them for a very long fucking time. And I know at the very base of everything, they truly have my best interest at heart.
Right.
Those are the people that I would break my silence over and say something. But how many people do you actually have in your life that are that fucking close to you? I have 2 besides you. That's it. So like in that scenario, it's not even, I don't know. That's a really, I would not want to be in that position.
No.
I got to be honest. I would tell her first, like in that scenario where I hated her guts and I had proof that she was cheating.
Yeah.
I would show up wherever she's at and be like, yo, I got proof. And I'm telling you right now that you're going to tell so-and-so that this is what you did
Or I am.
by 8:00 tonight, or I'm going to be at the house with proof and I'm fixing to blow your fucking spot up.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, I think that's the way to handle that.
Even if I didn't know the person well, I would find them on social media and be like, look, I know and I have the proof. So
Well,
either,
I'm showing up at your job.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we're having face-to-face conversation. I'm gonna show you the proof.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna fess up if it comes to that, because I'm trying to protect somebody I love.
Right.
I don't know. That's a tough one. It's a very tough one, because in a scenario where you like both people, there's a loyalty that has to be maintained, and you're going to be betraying someone one way or another.
Right.
And that creates a problem too, you know? And that's why I said earlier about long-term relationships, because if people are together for 5 or 10 years, that friend group is so commingled that like somebody's going to take a side or they're going to shut the fuck up,
Yep.
because there's no right or wrong there. And somebody is going to feel betrayed no matter what.
Yeah. You know, I'm just processing that they're not even together. Like, he didn't even say that they're together.
No, they were
Just
just friends and hit it.
They're friends. And then his best friend dropped off to maintain the friendship with her. So he says, I guess, am I valid to be upset for something like this being hidden, lied about, and that it happened in the first place?
No, because they just hit it. Here's a deeper thought. Go ahead, because you were breathing.
Go ahead. No, my thought's not cohesive.
If that's the case and your best friend walked away from your friendship to be friends with this person and hid it from you, were you a good friend? Mm-hmm. Did you bring something of value to the relationship? Did they truly trust who you were as a person? I don't care how long you've known them. There's a difference. If somebody leaves you as your best friend to go be friends with somebody else, you were clearly not that good of a friend to begin with, unless there was other emotional ties going on there.
Right.
So if we're speaking solely on a friend level and she didn't fuck this dude and he's not trying to smash and he left you as a friend to go be friends with her, you're not a very good friend.
I would say that would be my natural conclusion.
Right.
You know? If I have had 2 friends break up, and it is what it is. You know, if one of them stops talking to me and stops having that interaction, that's on them, but I've never picked a side.
Right. You shouldn't.
You know, I am a neutral player.
And that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yes. If I notice some foul shit happening during that relationship and I saw somebody in a new light, then yeah, I would definitely back away from that friendship a little bit.
Yeah.
And that could be what happened. He might have seen some things that you did or heard some things that you said to her and was like, oh, damn, that's his character? Okay. People are their own person. I just feel it was wrong in a sense to lie and or hide such an important person that grew up with me and now they are just her friend, you know?
Why? Why do they feel the need to hide it from you? What does it say about your character?
Right. I need more information on that.
Right. There's obviously this is a need more information scenario. But in this instance, knowing that you've been friends since you were kids, something more is happening here. People don't just ghost you like that after that long of being a friend with somebody unless there's something more happening. They don't hide shit like that. And unless they're young, they could very well be young and dude might just not be man enough to tell his friend like, yo, I'm friends with whatever her name is.
Yeah.
And like, we're friends now. Deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I had to make that phone call. I've had to make that phone call.
Yeah.
And it's not a comfortable thing. Like, you prepare yourself mentally for the worst. And sometimes it's going to be pretty bad. But a man would be like, hey, this is happening. You can deal with it or you can not. People don't like conflict anymore. They're not comfortable with confrontation because people are such fucking soft Charmin bears with the little cotton swabs from wiping their butt. The Charmin bears, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're Charmin soft.
No, I agree, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's also people make excuse for not being able to handle their emotions. So after so many times of having someone freak out on you over the smallest thing, you just
Yeah. Cognitive bias is very real.
don't say anything anymore.
Here's a thought. I wonder how he would have responded had dude been like,
This is going on.
I know you guys broke up, but because you two are no longer friends doesn't mean that I can't be her friend. Nothing's going to come of it. We're not trying to sleep together, but her and I are friends and we're hanging out. I wonder how he would have taken that.
Yeah, no, I would definitely would like to be a fly on the wall for that conversation. If he is someone who's prone to freaking out over something like that, I wouldn't say anything either. It's going to be World War III over the fact that I'm friends with your ex. And of course, instances of DV and SA and all of that excludes that.
Why would that be a thing?
Because people be like, oh, you'd be friends with an ex if they SA'd somebody. Or if your friend was SA'd by their ex, you'd still be friends with their ex. Those comments would pop up.
I just hate people.
Yeah. You'd think it would be common sense.
It's not the conversation we're having. So it's not a matter of being common sense. Why do people feel the need to bring in external data that has nothing to do with the conversation to include it to be like, gotcha?
Low IQ.
That's not, you're not contributing anything of value to the conversation when you do that.
Incapable of having a conversation. Low attention span.
Yeah. Do you have anything else on the email? Like that, I know it was kind of a short, I feel like we just kind of wasted a recording session.
Yeah, I thought that would be a more prolonged conversation. There's really not much there to talk about, you know. It's a friendship. I could feel a sense of betrayal if they got into a relationship 2 days after you guys broke up.
Yeah, I can see that.
That would be a different conversation.
Yeah.
Or if they were messing around behind your back while you were still in the relationship.
We've actually made videos about that too.
Have we?
About the people dating afterwards, like people dating your ex.
Yeah. We can talk about what it means to truly be neutral when a couple breaks up
Okay.
in a friend group.
I mean, if that's going to prolong this another 30 minutes, let's do that. Otherwise, this is going to be a standalone shorty and just do like bonus and have to re-record a whole nother R&R. So then what does that look like?
For example, say a couple breaks up. It's been a year. one of them is dating somebody else and the other one is still kind of going through that grieving process. And kind of everybody knows but that person. And that person feels a sense of betrayal. How would you handle that conversation? And like, look, I'm truly staying neutral. And that's what you need to understand in this. It's not about me picking sides.
Right. That's just exactly it, though. Because there's not a scenario where somebody doesn't feel betrayed. That's exactly what I meant earlier. Because if you don't tell this person, they're going to feel like you picked the other person. And if you do tell that person, the other person is going to feel like you picked that person. And if you say nothing and truly remain neutral, one person will be like, all right, they got my back. And the other person will be like, they don't. So there's not a win in that situation. I think the answer to that is to be like, yo, we know, everybody knows that you're talking to somebody. Maybe you should let them know that you've moved on because they're still grieving your separation because you're putting us in a fucked up situation.
Yeah, I think
that would be the answer.
I would tell that person, you're putting my relationship with this person in jeopardy. Because you've entrusted me with this information, knowing that I would remain loyal to you while simultaneously betraying them.
But what does that, I mean, what is that? Why would they owe that previous person that information anyways? Because that's a real conversation too. When you leave somebody and you're no longer in their life, you don't have a right to know what goes on with them.
Yeah.
If you couldn't make the relationship work and you guys decide to separate or there's a breakup or even infidelity, and you decide that this relationship is no longer what you want, what happens past the point of that ending doesn't matter to the other person. They don't owe you shit anymore. They're not connected to you. That agreement to be together is gone.
So I think the root to the question is, why do people feel the entitlement to have that, you need to let me know if you've moved on?
Part of that is selfishness. Part of that is wanting to, I mean, that's no different than wanting all the details of cheating, right? Would you say that's the same thing?
As to wanting knowing all the details of cheating. I would say so. It's kind of the same thought process, yeah.
Right, because maybe they want that extra hurt to be like, fuck them, get them out of my life. Or maybe they feel like they need to know because
do you think that falls into a sense of ownership?
It always falls. There's definitely a sense of ownership there. There's also something to be said about the grieving process. People say and do a lot of foul shit when they're hurting. It's why when people get into arguments, they say shit that they would have otherwise not said because in the moment they're emotional. And there is a sense of ownership in that aspect. And when, especially during the breakup, people feel like that. I mean, how long are you together? Do you feel that sense of ownership when you've been with someone for 2 weeks? Is not the same thing.
No.
When you've dedicated real time with somebody, 10 years, 20 years, there's going to be that sense of this was my person for that long. There's going to be that ownership. There's going to be a want to know what's going on with their life. There's going to always be a connection to that person. You want people after you get past the hurt to do well. You're going to want to keep up. I have people that I dated when I was a teenager that are still relevant to my life. That's healthy. Like this person meant something to me at one time. And though we had an ugly breakup, we're fucking adults now. We're not trying to be together. So to have those conversations about life and about the people that were pertinent to us at the time, it's keeping up. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think that's healthy emotional mind state to be able to reconnect with people like that and not make it something fucking weird or to have some kind of grudge. I also understand the grudge. I have that with people. I have my list. It is what it is.
Yeah, I have a list of people. It's a very short list. Yeah, I think it is healthy to just have healthy connections with people that you spent a duration of time with. There's somebody that I dated in high school, maybe 3 years. Every once in a while, maybe once every 6 months, we'll reach out to each other. Last time I spoke to him was getting ready to move to Georgia, move in with his woman. They have, he's going to be a stepdad. I think that's super dope. Like he's getting along in life. He's making good money now.
Right.
It's dope to see somebody who I knew when we were teenagers struggling, having no idea what they were going to do with their life.
Yeah.
Building their life.
Those relationships are healthy.
Yeah.
We say it all the time. Sometimes they can be the right person, but just not be right for you. And you don't need to be in an emotionally invested relationship with them. There's nothing wrong with maintaining a friendship when a relationship is over, as long as the emotional aspect is truly over.
Yeah.
If you are still intimately involved and you've moved on, but you're still intimately involved with somebody else, that's an issue because infidelity is bound to happen.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that that's completely out of your system before you try to maintain that relationship if you're moving on to other relationships. And that opens an entire different trunk of conversation that we could be unpacking. Is pulling dirty laundry
I
out
like
of.
it.
Okay.
Oh, I was picturing like a trunk of like magician things.
Yeah, I mean, that works too. I was just thinking about throwing fabric. Like I don't know. Just a toy chest. Are we done with all this? Because we keep side railing into things that aren't pertinent to the conversation. And if we're done, I'm just going to end it. We can continue having the conversations. But I don't want to get into conversations about the kids in the house too deep on the podcast.
Oh, I don't remember how we even got here.
I don't either. You can call it.
I guess so.
All right, with that one, we'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye, guys.